who do you sue? You can sue the perpetrator for sure, and in some instances, the employer will have to indemnify that particular defendant if there is a finding that he molested the child, let's say. You can also sue the employer for negligent supervision, negligent screening, failure to supervise. In that case, that guy had a prior molestation that had been handled administratively, which meant that they basically swept it under the rug. But I found out about it, and we were able to bring that to the attention of the court, and eventually that case led to a resolution, as you might imagine, because it was bad press for the county. You look to the county to see, or the employing agency, what, if anything, did they do wrong? And if they didn't do anything wrong, there may not be a claim that you bring against them, although in the law there's the notion that the employer is responsible for the acts of its employees. And so, which is refined somewhat. I mean, some courts will not allow liability. For example, in California now, they're limiting liability of employers who employ bad actors. So for example, in a situation like this now, where maybe the county had no knowledge that the sheriff's deputy is a molester and he goes out and molests somebody, county might not be held liable, just because they employed the guy, all right? But that's an area of law that keeps changing. But typically, if you are employed, you're working, you're on the job, and you're doing something that is, at least in part, meant to help the purpose of your employment and that of your employer can be held responsible for any kind of bad acts that you perform. Okay? That's the law.